Hey guys, welcome back to the fourth video in this C# tutorial series. Today we're going to be going over the for loop. And the for loop is an amazing tool that you can use to iterate through a chunk of code over and over again, based on usually how many times you want to iterate through that code. So the syntax for a for loop is as follows. We have the for keyword followed by an initializer, a condition, and an iterator with the body. Okay, so the most common way you'll see a for loop written is this way. You have for, and then the initializer is just a number, so usually you declare a new number here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do int I equals 0, a semicolon, and then we have our condition. So let's say, this is either a true or false statement. So basically it says, while this condition is not met, or maybe it's more like break whenever this condition is false. Okay, so we're going to say I is less than 10. And then our iterator is almost always going to be I++, or whatever this variable is called. Okay, so this is grayed out because we don't have anything inside our for loop. But what we're going to be doing is we can just say console.writeLine I. Okay, so what this reads as is this says starting at 0 while I is less than 10. So every time we want to run this, we're going to be incrementing I by 1. So until I is not less than 10, we're going to be counting up. But as soon as I is not less than 10, so I is equal to 10, we're not going to be running this code anymore, and we're going to continue down here. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and debug this and show you what it looks like. And I'll do a console.readLine. readLine, so that we don't have the application close out on us. So it wrote out 0 through 9. So, but this is 10 numbers. So what you most commonly will do is int I equals 0, I is less than however many times you want to run the code, because it's 0. When you start at 0 and it's less than 10, it's not less than or equal to 10, you're going to be running this code 10 times. If you started this at 1, it runs the code 9 times. So you would have to do I is less than 11 and so on. Okay, but typically you start at a 0. So the for loop is really awesome. That's basically all there is to it. You can also use this to access array indices. So let's say we have a string array, so var array, or our array is equal to new string array, and then here we can just put in some values. So we can say testing 2 testing 3. Okay, so another really common use of the for loop is to do something like this. So what you'll almost always see is int I equals 0, I++. Okay, but this condition is what changes. So we can do this. Instead of I is less than 10, we can do I is less than our array dot length. So this is just an integer value, and it says gets the total number of elements in all the dimensions of the array. Okay, so then we can just do console.writeLine, and then we could recall the values from our array here, because we're using a 0-based incrementer. So we can do console.writeLine our array index I. This is also a super common use case for a for loop. You want to recall indices from an array in order, or values from an array by index in order. So let's see what that looks like. We get testing 2, testing 3. Now we have a little warning from our IDE. It says for loop can be converted into for each loop. And that is something I will cover in the next video. But really, really simple, guys. This is just all the for loop is. We could do what's called an infinite for loop, because according to the Microsoft documentation, each of these values, the three, the initializer, condition, and the iterator, are all optional. So we don't actually have to declare anything here. We could just do that, and that would actually work just fine. And this is an infinite for loop, so we could just do actually int I equals 0. We could just increment this but not have a condition, and it would be infinite. This is almost, you never see this, by the way. You use a while loop for infinite loops, but this is just possible, and I just want to show you that it is technically possible if you want to write out all the numbers in the world in order. Just a neat little thing I found just looking at some documentation for the for loop. But yeah, guys, that's all there is to it. Very, very simple. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I will go ahead and reply to those. But yeah, very quick video. Next video, we'll talk about the for each loop. All right, see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.